here. I want to welcome you into this community. I want to welcome you into being a part of a masterclass, and being a part of the masterclass and being able to get as much as you can out of it means that you join in and comment and share as I go. I'll be asking questions as I go. Certain things for you to think about, certain things asking about what your current reality is. Okay, so make sure that you comment, make sure that you share. I love doing these master classes. Just so you know, I'm sitting here, I've got my Focus Fitness water bottle. I go nowhere without it. And just for you to see my setup a little bit here, a true studio owner, I am sitting on like an aerobic step, and my computer is propped up. How do we get this onto a box? I am barefoot, and that is just because I am the most comfortable being in the place that I love, in my studio, being exactly who I am, which is barefoot as much as possible. And so the more comfortable I am with who I am, the more I act as who I am, the more I can deliver to you on the topic. So we are going to dive right in. Welcome to the Master Consistency Free Masterclass. I am so excited for this. This is the first time I am doing things a little bit differently, okay? And you're gonna understand why. What I've really started to do is tap into not just the doing. Because when most people, when most trainers, when most coaches are talking to you about working out, or nutritionists, working out, eating right, following a meal plan, doing this, that, and the other thing, they're talking to you about the doing, about the action taking. And I want to talk to you more about the being. Okay, we're going for a slightly different approach here. And the reason that I'm taking this approach is because it doesn't mean that we don't do the doing. It means the doing becomes 10 times easier and is sustainable when you bring the being into your life, into your world. And these are things that you can take with you everywhere. So if you're struggling with consistency right now, which I believe if you're watching this free masterclass, then you probably are. If you are struggling with consistently working out X number of days a week, consistently, meal prepping or cooking at home, consistently eating a balanced, healthy diet, then you're in the right place. But, consistency can also mean that you're working out 1 or 2 days a week right now, and you really try to do 3 or 4 and it's just not working, and you want to figure out how to make that jump, how to get there, this is the place for you. Consistency, that word, I always mess it up. Consistency can also mean that you generally eat healthy, but you often skip meals, or you have trouble getting back on track after the weekend. Like, it takes you a couple of days to kind of pull it together again. Also means you're in the right place. Consistency can also mean that you order food out a lot, and you want to understand how to start making meals at home, to change that behavior. So I want you to take a moment, and I want you to think to yourself, which is your biggest struggle with consistency? Okay, when you come up with your biggest struggle, it could be that all of these things kind of touch you a little bit, but throw it down in the comments below. Let me know what is your biggest struggle with consistency. Now, while you do that, I created this masterclass today to tell you something that is really going to change the way you look at consistency. And it's probably going to change the way you look at yourself forever. You might not like this thing that I'm going to tell you. It might even trigger you a little bit, so I'm telling you this in advance. But I am always honest. I will always be straightforward with you. And I tell you these things because sometimes you just need to hear it straight up. I'm a straight shooter. Generally, the clients who work with me appreciate that. So here it goes. I'm here to tell you that consistency is not the problem. Your commitment to yourself is the problem. Consistency is not the problem. Your commitment to yourself is the problem. And yeah, that can hurt. I know, and yes, it might feel really triggering for some of you to hear, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And if you're not committed to yourself, then what are you committed to? Most of us are committed to work or a hobby or watching Netflix all the time or a person. But if you're able to say, I am 100% fully committed to fill in the blank, and you can't say that you are consistent with your workouts, with your eating, whatever you're struggling with, then you have not fully committed to yourself. You have not fully committed yourself to that thing, that piece of you, that piece of your journey. Don't worry. The fact that you are listening to this masterclass means that you want to make a change. It means that you are ready to commit to yourself on a different level. So before I go into the details on how to really master consistency, this commitment, and what it really looks like, I'm going to introduce myself to those of you who are new to my world, who have recently joined the Facebook community. My name is Alana Tusk. I have been in the industry for 7 years. I am a trainer. I own my own studio in Israel outside of Tel Aviv. And I also have an online business called The Focus Method. My first program that I ever released is a 12-week program designed to activate a healthy lifestyle, get you back on track, for people who are looking to lose weight. And it's just a real overall 12-week pure method to get you back on track. Now, I love what I do. I am fully committed to serving my clients. And I think that's all you gotta know. I'm originally from New York. I grew up as a dancer. I pull a lot of what I learned about dance, a lot of what I received from dancing my whole life. I bring that into the classes at my studio, into my programs, and into what I'm going to tell you today. So there are 4 steps to mastering consistency. Number 1 is awareness. Number 2 is, what do I need to do to make this happen? Number 3, to take action. And number 4, who do I need to become to sustain this? Okay? Now the first one, we're going to take these one by one here. I would say steps 1 through 3, you've probably already done a few times in your life. And if you are joining this Master Consistency Masterclass, then it means that you're kind of ping-ponging back and forth between being consistent for a certain amount of time, and then you kind of lose it. You're consistent a little bit, and then you lose it, and you need to figure out how to get back on track. Okay, so that's generally steps 1 through 3. The first step, awareness, is beyond just being aware that you're struggling with being consistent. If you're here right now, you're obviously aware that you're struggling with being consistent. But that's the surface level struggle. When we are aware, the most aware, we notice patterns in our behaviors. When we are truly aware of something, we reflect. We take a look back at the things we've tried in the past and honestly reflect, have an honest conversation with ourselves on why they didn't work. What was the cause of me failing? I don't love to use that word, but we're going to call that failing for now. What was the cause of me falling back into old habits? God, I was doing so well for 6 months and then, ooh, sorry, that might have been really loud. Bam! Something changed and I just couldn't get back into a routine. And if your answer to that something is COVID, you need to take a deeper look in the fucking mirror and start to get real honest with yourself. Because, okay, COVID, yeah, maybe that was the catalyst, but if you're going to be really honest with yourself, this is something you've been struggling with way beyond just the past, year and a half. The second thing is in the doing. We ask ourselves, okay, I want to make a change. What do I need to do to make this happen? This usually comes in the form of joining a studio or a gym, hiring a personal trainer or a health coach, or you're asking a friend or your partner to help hold you accountable. Step 2 is all about the doing and having someone there to hold you accountable along the way, someone to answer to. Now, there's nothing wrong with needing accountability. We all need someone to hold us accountable. I just finished a 12-week program with my mentor in April. And when we finished, I was like, I'm going to start this program over from week 1, self-paced. I'm going to do it at my own pace. But from week 1, week to week, I'm going to follow it along just to, dive deeper into the material, and I'll keep myself on track. It is now the beginning of June. A month has gone by. And while I have referred back to course materials, I definitely did not start the course over from week 1 and hold myself accountable on a weekly basis. What was my answer to this? I just joined her next 3 programs and a mastermind, all in the name of accountability to have over the summer. Now, I have taken things I've learned from her to remain consistent in what I do, okay? But I know that I want the accountability. 2, I'm never done learning. And 3, I forgot the 3rd, but that's okay. We're going to roll with it. But the point of this being that we all need someone to hold us accountable. But that's not where consistency ends. Okay, so now that you're like, okay, I need to do X, Y, Z in order to be consistent. The 3rd thing is to take action. Okay, so you should always choose to have someone hold you accountable. This is a big part of consistency and is especially necessary if you want to make a change. And this part, because you've already done it several times. I have clients who drink their coffee with artificial sweetener or like 2 teaspoons of sugar. And when we talk about their goals and changes they want to make, they are always really reluctant to switch from artificial sweetener, chemicals, to regular sugar. And they're always reluctant to reduce the amount of sugar in their coffee from, let's say, 2 teaspoons to 1 teaspoon. But you know what happens after 1 month? And they try to go back to their old ways. They say, Alana, it was too sweet. I don't like it that way anymore. So what's the lesson here? It is that we are so consumed by the way we do things in the now, in the present. We are creatures of habit. But the great thing about that is that you can take action and change your habits and become creatures of new habits. We are creatures of habit. It is really easy to stay in the now. But when you change your habits and stick with them long enough and have someone hold you accountable, they become new habits, and these become a new way of living. You just have to be open to doing something differently in the first place. And while yes, in the beginning, it may seem hard, difficult, frustrating, eventually it becomes a way of life. And these habits, these new habits, become a lot easier when you are committed. Because when you are committed, these little habit changes, these little choices that we make throughout our day, throughout our week, add up to big results. And when you do them over and over and over and over again, that is when it becomes consistent. That is when it becomes second nature. But, okay, so let's say, you've been consistent, right? You got the trainer, you got the coach, you joined the gym, whatever it is. What happens when we take action and then all of a sudden the accountability goes away? Or you have the gym membership and you're going, and then after like a month or two, you stop going. This is where step number 4 comes in. This is how you really master consistency. Step number 4, who do I need to become to sustain this? Now, before we get into number 4, I want to define the word consistent for you. According to dictionary.com, the word consistent is defined as 2 definitions. 1, agreeing or accordant, compatible, not self-contradictory. The second one, constantly adhering to the same principles, course, form, etc. Okay, so the second part of the definition, constantly adhering to the same principles, course, form. This is steps 2 and 3 of mastering consistency. Okay, this is the doing. This is the figuring out what you need to do and the taking action. This is the doing. Part 1 of the definition, agreeing, compatible, not self-contradictory, is what step 4 is all about. When something is not self-contradictory, it's a part of who you are. I consistently work out 4 to 5 days a week because it is who I am. I meal prep every weekend because it is a part of who I am. It is a part of my schedule on a Saturday just as much as it is to walk my dog every day. If I don't meal prep one weekend, that is self-contradictory. That is when my husband or my mom will be like, "Hey, Alana, what happened? Are you okay? You didn't meal prep." And I tell you this not to make you feel bad, but for you to see what's possible for you too. I wasn't raised meal prepping every weekend. It's not something my mom did. I didn't meal prep every weekend in college, nor did I when I first moved abroad. It became a part of who I am because I decided that in order to sustain a healthy lifestyle, this is who I needed to be. I decided that getting back on track with my meals after a weekend of eating out or a trip, that I am happier, I am calmer, I like myself more, my weeks just go better when my meals are ready to go. And the same thing goes for my workouts. I work out 4 to 5 days a week. If I have a week that I work out 1 or 2 days, people are like, "Alana, like, you don't feel good? Are you okay?" Because that is self-contradictory. Okay, so you can have this too. You can have whatever your reality is right now. If it's working out 2 days a week, if it's not meal prepping, You can literally do a complete 180 and have your current reality become your self-contradictory behavior. How cool would that be? Okay, drop a comment below if you think that would be cool, if you think it would be really nice for all of a sudden 4 or 5 workouts was your reality and 1 or 2 was self-contradictory. Okay, drop it in the comments. In every decision that you make, you want to ask yourself, is this how I'm going to call it my higher self? Is this how my higher self would act? Now, of course, there are times where my higher self is like, dude, take a freaking break. And I listen to that too, because this isn't about perfectionism. And if you've done one of my courses before, one of my programs before, you know that, none of this is about perfectionism. None of this is about doing something this way 100% of the time. Okay, we are looking at most of the time. We are looking at how to be in a way that becomes so natural that the way you are right now is going to be self-contradictory. That if you work out only 1 to 2 times 1 week, your partner or a friend asks you if you feel okay because you normally work out 4 times a week. And this is your level of commitment to yourself. Another example. If I feel like a vanilla milkshake, for example, okay, if I want something sweet and I feel like a vanilla milkshake, I don't drink a vanilla milkshake. I drink a vanilla milkshake smoothie. It has the banana, it has natural peanut butter, it has almond milk. Sometimes I'll add a little bit of vanilla extract. And I don't drink that smoothie because I'm on a diet. I drink that version instead of the diner version because I am committed to my health. And commitment and consistency are not about perfectionism. Okay, maybe once a year I'll have a vanilla smoothie at a diner. I don't even think once a year, but once a year, let's say. But not because it's a prize or a reward, but it's because I really just feel like it. And you know what happens now when I drink that? It's like really way too sweet. It doesn't taste right anymore. And I say, damn, I could really go for my homemade vanilla milkshake smoothie right now. Okay, so when you commit to who you want to be, everything changes. When you commit to the bigger vision of yourself, to the better version of yourself, that's when everything changes. And that is when you can sustain consistency, because at the end of the day, if you didn't have someone holding you accountable and you had to rely solely on yourself, you have to commit yourself to be your own running buddy. After a while, this commitment to you becomes a part of who you are. And any action to the contrary is self-contradictory. One of my favorite ways to help my clients commit to a lifestyle change when they come to the studio is by assigning them a running buddy. I usually hand pick these buddies based off of, either a shared interest or based off of, one person's strength. So I have a client in my studio who is really struggling to do more than 2 sessions a week. And she was like, Alana, I want to come more. I do, but it's just not happening. And so I introduced her to Yael. Yael's strength is consistency in workouts, okay? She was coming 5-6 days a week of her own accord. Shortly after their introduction, and they became running buddies, they were both attending 5 to 6 sessions a week together, and they actually became really great friends. And this is a really great tool. But what do you think happened when things kind of changed and their workout hours no longer coincided? What happened when Hila and Yael couldn't come together anymore? When Yael couldn't hold Hila accountable? Hila fell back into her old ways. What happened here? Hila was consistent because of Yael, but she did not embody the commitment to being a person, herself, who works out 5 days a week. So when I brought this to her attention, she admitted that, without Yael by her side, she was no longer prioritizing that part of her life. She had some awareness building to do, some reflecting to do, and some embodying to do. And do you know what happened? She ended up coming to the studio consistently 4 days a week because she committed to herself, not to someone else, not to someone else's watch, not to someone else's plan, not to someone else's idea of working out. She decided that she likes to work out 4 days a week. That number of workouts feels really good for her. And that was that. She started coming 4 days a week. So you can see here that we're peeling back the layers and diving deeper into this metaphorical ocean. Okay, you're diving deeper than just signing up for a gym. You're diving deeper than doing meal prep every weekend because someone told you to, and the second that person's not there anymore, you stop. We're diving deeper into how to become that person who is consistent for you. Now, I've thrown a lot at you today. And the point here is not to make you feel bad about who you are. It's to show you what's possible for you. That you don't need to keep running on that hamster wheel. I talk about this hamster wheel all the time because it is so real. You get into a really, really, really good routine, and then whatever causes it to drop off, and then you have months and months and months of not doing. And then you go back into the doing and you're taking action, and then boom, and you go back to where you started. I don't want that for you anymore. I do not want that for you anymore. And I have taken my understanding from a lifetime of being a dancer, from a lifetime of commitment, of consistency. That word always gets me every time to do. From a lifetime of being consistent, from a lifetime of being committed. What I took from my dance background into me being a trainer, into passing it on to my clients, all of that is coming into mastering consistency. I want you to know that you can make a change and sustain it. That you can commit to a different version of you. And that you can be consistent in all areas of your life. In all areas of your health. So I ask you, if you're struggling with consistency, ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed am I Drop it below in the comments. Let me know how you are how committed you are right now. Now, you might just listen to this and move on with your day. And if that's what's going to happen, then I hope you can take a piece of this with you. Just a small piece of what I've talked about today. It would be amazing if you carry something with you, and the slightest of transformations, that means the world to me. I'd love to hear it. I'd love for you to let me know. If you know, like really know, that you want to commit to yourself, that you want to learn how to do this, you want to receive the accountability, but also truly embody this type of person so that you don't fall back into your ways over and over again, then I am doing a program that there's a way to do things differently. There's a way that you can be in order to do things differently. I also want to give you some time to reflect and really focus in on your biggest struggles with consistency. And it's going to dive deep into every step that we discussed today. It is going to provide you with accountability, and it's going to teach you how to commit to yourself each and every day. When the accountability goes away, you will have embodied this new version of yourself. So exciting. So if you would like to secure your spot, you can send me a DM on Instagram, and I'll send you the details to sign up for the program. Now, this is an investment. Okay? This program is an investment. And I want you to start to think about paying for something like this, not as, oh my God, oh, that's a lot of money. Oh, I don't know. You know what? I'm not going to do it because it's $200, too much. But if you start to look at a payment like this as an investment over a lifetime, think about what you're going to get. If you can truly pull in and embody a person who is consistent in her workouts, how is that going to change your life long term for the rest of your life? Okay? So this investment is your commitment to you. So I ask you again, if you're struggling with consistency, ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed am I? Because if you're ready to commit to you, then this is your time. The time is now. So, I want to thank you so much for joining me today, joining me in this free masterclass. I always, always, always love connecting. Make sure if you have any questions, you can post in this group. You can drop a comment. I always check back. And that is it. This was such a fun masterclass, and I hope to see you in the program in